Hello, dear students, very warm welcome to Dr. Zia Ahmed YouTube channel. Today our topic, as it is visible, is going to be discourse and social language. We shall be seeing here how language is used in social setup in order to develop a particular type of discourse. It may be a critical discourse or normal discourse, but the language is used in society in some such ways, and we need to see how it is used. If we try to know what language is going to be, we can very easily understand that language can be defined as verbal, physical, biological, innate, and basic form of communication. So the definition tries to convey the idea that it's a form of communication, that human beings communicate with respect to their day-to-day routines and other matters with their fellow human beings. This communication can be can be without the human beings as well. It can be with the animals, with any other parts of the environment in which the human beings live. But this has to be sometime verbal, sometime physical, sometime biological, and sometime basic form of communication. It is verbal when we are uttering words. It is physical when we are showing our body language. And it is also innate behaviors that we show to the other people, or at least we try to communicate what the idea is going to be in whatever way the words or the sounds are used by us is called language. And, and in the same way, if we see that what is discourse, it is going to be discourses are more that ways of thinking and producing meaning. Discourse can be something which is definitely a way to create a special meaning. Surely, when we speak to the human beings, we do have the words and the signs we use, but those words and signs may be used in normal setup, conveying the normal meanings, but most of the time they may not be conveying those normal meanings. So that is why it can be called invented meaning, intended meaning, or developed meaning. If language is used in by making ways of thinking and producing special meaning, at that time the things become discourse-like. So we can proceed with the concept that when language is used in the social context at that time, it's a possibility of developing some type of discourse. For example, we know that the language which we use is in fact the combination of the words, different types of words that we bring in for our use, and that therefore comes the kind of language in our mind. But that is deeply related to the concept of the mind, that we have certain concepts in the mind, and with the help of these words we try to recognize those concepts outside and inside of our mind, but that cannot be done until and unless there is the social context. So one needs to see where these words are being used and for what these are being used and who is the person that going to be listening that, and in the same way what is the purpose behind that. If we are taking care of this social context, we are definitely trying to invent meaning, convey meaning, whatever the intended meaning can be there. And alongside that, there is the power structure also. That's also very much important. That power structure determines the choice of words, determines the structures that we use in the language. And with the help of that, we also try to see what type of discourse power wants. And if that is the thing done with the help of language and social context, it becomes the discourse. As we say, that the discourse has been the particular intended use of language to produce a specific type of meaning. If this thing is done, definitely we have the discourse. The same discourse can be seen everywhere in our society, in our language use, and in the social setup. For example, if you look at the toys of the children that they are playing, that also conveys a particular type of discourse. For example, the girl holding the toys, which are most of the time the dolls and the colorful ribbons and the other things associated to that, it means that we have tried to give a feminine touch to this type of picture. Through this picture, a feminine touch is given. Same is the case with the masculine touch, that the boys carrying those toys, which toys are not most of the time used by the girls. The boy is not carrying any of the colorful playthings, but he's rather carrying certain tools. So that creates a particular type of difference between the boy and the girl and their toys. So their toys are specially being assigned to a particular person in order to give a gender difference, a kind of discourse which is relevant to the gender differences. What is the boy, what is the girl? And with respect to that, in social setup, this type of picture and pictorial evidence can prove that what is the role or type of gendered language we use there. And in the same way, we have the language of the clothes as well. For example, if you look at the first picture, you find that the colorful dress is there and a woman is wearing that. This dress is particularly womanish because it has a special setup. Same is the case with the dress of the male. It is a different type of dress, which is jacket and trouser, and the other garments which the person is wearing, that goes to show the male dress. So in case of dresses as well, in case of clothing as well, we try to give the feminine touch to the women's clothing and the malish touch to the men's clothing. So in this way, such type of pictures also go to show that this is going to be the discourse, and there the language in the form of pictures being used in that way in order to convey a particular type of discourse. Same is the case with other dresses. For example, the child is wearing this type of dress, and then is uh, the character from PK having the PK movie having the same type of dress, and then is the dress of this girl or a woman, and the children also carrying different type of dresses. So one can see very clearly that if the dress is worn with a particular simplicity or with the kind of uniformity at that time, it conveys a special message that the person belongs possibly to some group or some class, and that is why it's conveying the message. Same is the case with this movie characters, that it's also conveying the message of being confused and having no understanding of the world, and is trying to show that the person is not wearing the dress code which is most of the time accepted or acceptable. The two children are wearing different dresses, but they are looking very smart, very good, very beautiful as well. So that goes to show that their appearance is to be very nice about that, same as the case with the girl. But the dress of the girl and the boy is going to be quite different. The girly dress is going to show that this is girl's dress and she has to convey a particular meaning. Same as the case with the boy's dress, for example, that can be seen in two different ways. So therefore, the dress codes or the clothing can also convey a particular type of meaning. And same is the case with the signs or the road signs that we most of the time witness on the roads, that it is possible for us to recognize what a particular message they are going to convey. So language is being used in the social setup through these signs as well. For example, here is one sign that can be explaining to or conveying the message of having petrol pump or the fuel pump quite close. And then is the work in progress sign, and after that the turn sign, the T road sign, and then the speed limit sign. All these convey a specific message. And this one is about the eatery where one can have different type of foods. The food is going to be ready there, and that is what the message is being conveyed through these emojis as well. Sorry, so through these road signs. And in that way, language is conveying certain specific meanings with respect to those signs on the roads. Another use of social setup can be seen in these signs, that when we want to show that work is in progress, we have this type of sign. And when we want somebody to stop at that time, this is the sign. And then fire extinguisher is there, no use of cell phones, and no smoking. All these things are pointed out through the discourse of these pictures, that these are conveyed to us as soon as we look at them, and these are installed at the places which are necessary to see these things. And as a result, it's possible for us to get the message not from the side of the onlooker but also from the side of society, that we get this type of messages. And then comes the emojis. Emojis also convey a particular meaning when these are used. For example, here is the seriousness sign, then it is the sleeping sign, then it's the kind of happy sign, and then is the kind of confused sign, and after that again laughter sign, then is the love sign. So then is the anger sign as well. So all these signs depict the human emotion, and when we use them, it means that human beings have these type of emotions and they can show them at certain specific times. So that is why the emojis also become the part of language of human being, that this is a special form of the talk of the human being, that they can use these emojis also in order to convey specific meanings of the people in the social setup. And then what makes it important is that in which society which emojis are used. I mean, if we want to see that there is a one sign of okay that is used almost everywhere, then it's the appearance of the girl, that's a similar kind of thing. And here is also the emoji that goes to show different aspects of the human behavior. So one can say very easily that it's possible to recognize the message coming in the social setup, but whole of the social setup must recognize the meaning everywhere, the similar type of meaning of a particular emoji or particular emoticon, then definitely the same meaning would be conveyed. But where, when, and how, what type of message is to be given, that is decided by the social setup and then the power structures where to give this type of meaning and scene. And so there can be another type of body language as well, that we, while going, while coming, we can show and guess and see and recognize the people. For example, if you look at this picture, you will be able to see that it is giving different types of impression. Or if you try to see that the man possibly is from Indian subcontinent or Middle East or Africa or Southeast Asia or Europe or South North America or Australia. But the looks, the type of looks that we have that indicate to us that he belongs to South Eastern Europe. For example, Bulgaria or Southern Albania. So some of the appearances of human being, they have been over the ages designed and become perfect or become kind of national or regional recognition shape that goes to give us a particular type of discourse. So these discourses can be understood through body language as well. The body language thing can also be seen here when we look at a woman's dress. She's having the hair color, a very different hair color, and she's also carrying the pinkish dress, and her skin is quite white, and that is why it's conveying a lot of kind of impression to which state or area she belongs to. For example, if we say that she's Indian, it's not possible, and then we say that she's going to be Middle Eastern, not possible, African, not possible, Southeast Asia, not possible. European, up to some extent, we can say yes, because her skin color, her hair color goes to describe something like that, and the clothing also describe the same thing. So therefore, it is right to say about her that she is Southeastern European person from Bulgaria or from Albania. This type of appearance of these people is there. So we carry in our upbearing what kind of person we are, where do we belong to, and after that, what kind of behavior can be expected out of us. These things are visible in the body language of the human beings as well. Now, the same would be the case with other pictures, the audio-visual pictures, for example. Some pictures don't speak, but the pictures are done in such a way that they convey a particular message. Same is the case with the audio. The sounds which are uttered by us carry certain specific meaning. So it means that the language may be audio, language may be visual, language may be in emoticons or emojis. It conveys the meaning, the intended meaning of the writer, the intended meaning of the creator. All these meanings are conveyed, but the meaning could be understood only when there is some social context and when there is the other requirements like the power structures or the themes or the ideologies or the social setup of the society. If these things are considered at that time, it's possible that the same language would become the discourse. And thus we can say that these discourses can be recognized in the social setup, or the social setup creates certain type of discourses. And and lastly, the time has come to say thank you to all the folks who have watched this video. I hope that you might have understood something how and in what ways, what forms the language is used, the communication is done in the social setup. Hope you have understood well, and if you really understood, then do not fail to hit the subscribe button or the like button. Hope to see you in some next video, definitely. And so far, thank you for watching.